Scarlet Lady is Virgin Voyages' first cruise ship they ever released that is now sailing around Europe. And with so many different European itineraries to choose from, you really can't go wrong, whether you're heading out of Barcelona or Miami. But in today's video, we're going to talk through the French Daze and Ibiza nights itinerary and how I would structure my days on this sailing. Hi, I'm Jennifer, your cruise bestie. If you are new to cruising, there can be a lot of different factors that go into choosing what cruise line is the best for you. But if you're choosing Virgin, you've made a great choice. They have so many different itineraries that you can choose from, whether you're wanting to go to Europe or Greece or the Caribbean. But today we're specifically focusing on one of the European itineraries that is on my bucket list, French Daze and Ibiza nights. This is a 7-day sailing on Scarlet Lady, which is going to take you to places like Marseille, Cannes, Palma de Mallorca, in addition to an overnight in Ibiza, where you get to experience the nightlife. There are not many other cruise lines that do this kind of itinerary, which will give you a really unique experience on your cruise. But enough of me just talking, let's get into our schedule. Let's get into our itinerary. Now, French Daze and Ibiza nights leaves out of Barcelona, so you will have to fly to Barcelona to get on this cruise. It is a 7-night itinerary, so because this is a little bit of a longer sailing, some of Virgin's rules change a bit. The first one being that your dining, you can book more than once. Typically on a Virgin cruise, you can only go to each restaurant on time, but on sailings that are 7 days or more, you can book certain restaurants multiple times. So we'll get into how I would do that in a bit. So starting off on day 1, which is going to be your embarkation day, you'll want to make sure that you're flying into Barcelona the day before you set sail at least. Flying internationally, I would almost recommend going 2 days before, just because you never know what delays will come up while you're traveling. So day of embarkation, you are not going to be able to board until 1:30. So make sure you do not go to the port before 1:30 unless you're dropping your bags off and then gonna go explore. The soonest that you're gonna be able to get on board is gonna be 1:30, but that is only if you are Splash of Romance or a rock star guest or a VIP guest. If you are not one of those, you'll have to board at the designated time that's listed on your app. So when you're doing your check-in process, you'll be able to select the time that you board. Once you get on board, you'll want to use the time that you have before sail away to make any changes to your itinerary, whether you need to change dinner reservations, book more dinner reservations, or book any shows and activities. I always recommend when you get to the port and get in the terminal to make sure you connect to the ship's Wi-Fi. Once you get in the terminal, you're able to do that and start booking shows right away and make any dining changes that you need to yourself within the app. But if you have any issues, you can always go straight to guest services and the help desks that are on board to get those done for you without having to do it through the app. You'll also want to make sure right when you get on board to do your safety training and muster station. That way it's just out of the way and you don't have to worry about it. Starting at 5:30 is going to be your sail away party. So you'll want to head to the pool deck. Lots of fun things happening. Free champagne for, I think it's about 90 minutes. They give out free champagne. A variety of DJs are performing throughout the ship during sail away. So if you want to head down to the dock afterwards and watch from the back of the ship, you can. There's live music. We also, during this time, do your introductions to the happening cast. So make sure that you stick around for that and get to know everyone that is going to be on board while you are sailing. Starting at 7 is when Squid Ink reservations are going to open up. So if that is something that you are wanting to do on this trip, make sure you are there a little bit early because there is always a line and the slots at the end of the week always book up. So get there as early as you can to make sure that you can get the day and time that you're wanting. Next, we are getting into dinner time. So I would plan for dinner around 8:15 on this day and do something casual because boarding day is a lot and there's a lot going on. So I would do dinner at Razzle Dazzle if it were me. It's quick, it's easy, it's safe, and it gets it out of the way. Razzle Dazzle isn't one that I'm totally impressed with. So it's not something that it's one that I would just get out of the way because there's better restaurants on the ship. So dinner at Razzle Dazzle around 8:15. And then I would go into the grog walk. Now the grog walk does cost extra, but it's a fun way to get to know the different bars on the ship and meet some of your other sailors, especially if you're a solo sailor or you're just traveling with your girlfriends or your guy friends or whatever. It's just a fun way to meet people and spend some time getting to know the ship. Then at 11:15 is the PJ party, and the PJ party is something you do not want to miss. I've talked about it in multiple videos before, but it is so much fun. And especially if you go around Christmas time when everyone's in their Christmas PJs, it's great. So again, another great way to meet friends and hang out with the Happenings cast and party in your PJs. What else could you want? Then for day 2, we are gonna be in Marseille. So I would start this day doing sun worshippers yoga at 7 a.m. It's just a nice, easy way to start the day. Get some stretching in before you go and spend the day walking around town, and possibly do brunch this day at either the galley or at the restaurant. You could also go and get breakfast in town if you're in port, if you wanted to. I personally like to take advantage of the free food on the ship before I go to port, so I would do breakfast probably in the galley if it was me. But you're gonna be in Marseille from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. I always get tired walking around, so I would plan to be back on board by around 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and go do OPA hour at the dock around 4:30, and then spend some time relaxing a bit, get ready for dinner, and dinner at 8:15. I would do Gunbay because Gunbay is such a fun way to end the day. Day 2, there's not really many parties going on. This itinerary is very different from, if you watched my last video, my Valiant Lady itinerary for Dominican days. There's a lot more parties and club nights on that sailing. These European sailings, I've noticed, have a lot less of the late night DJ parties and more shows and activities. So I think because there's so much more packed and condensed with the different ports, you're gonna have a little bit of a different experience than sailing out of Miami. Day 3, you're gonna be in Cannes, and same kind of situation. You're gonna be in port from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So you have really long days on these itineraries. For day 3, I would start off with brunch at the wake, maybe do some bottomless mimosas before we go walk around town. And then I would plan to be back on board around 6 p.m. That way we can do dinner on the ship, unless you are wanting to do dinner while you are in Cannes. Then obviously, because you don't have to be back on the ship until 9 p.m., you have some time and flexibility to do that. But I would ideally get back on the ship late afternoon, take a little bit of a nap, hang out and relax for a little bit by the pool, and then go to Last One Standing at 6 p.m. Last One Standing is a new event since I've been on Scarlet Lady, and it is a trivia competition. So if you're good at trivia, definitely stop by and see if you can try it out. So that happens around 6 p.m. And then I would plan for dinner around 7:30 at Pink Agave. Pink Agave is one of my favorites. You'll have a blast if you go. Do plan some extra time because it does take a little bit of time, especially if you have a bigger group with you. Then around 8:30, they have painting and boozy bevies. This is another one that does cost a little bit extra, but it seems super fun. It's kind of like a wine and paint class, so if you're into that kind of thing, you can check that out. There's also a Scoop There It Is ice cream competition. I don't have much information on this one because this is also new to Scarlet Lady, but the videos I've seen are super fun. So if you're not into the painting and don't want to spend the extra money on that, definitely check out Scoop There It Is. At 10 p.m. we have Dual Reality, which if you watched my event guide, you've seen me talk about this before, but this is basically an acrobatic show where they're basing it kind of on the story of Romeo and Juliet. You've got red versus blue, and they're doing all kinds of stunts and acrobats on the ship. So it's interesting to watch. I haven't seen it in person yet because we unfortunately didn't get to see it on our last sailing, but it's definitely on my list for this time. Day 4 is going to be your first sea day. So literally on the ship all day, and I would start this out around 9:30 with the VHS workout. I'm sure you've seen the clips here and there, but it's a Richard Simmons style aerobic workout held in the Manor. Super fun. So if you're looking for something, some kind of exercise class to do, definitely recommend the VHS workout. And then if you're feeling like doing a little bit more, they also have a Broadway dance class, which this is right up my alley, and I'm very jealous that this isn't going to be on Scarlet Lady, but it's something different. So for any of you that are into that, make sure to check that out. And in between there, because you have time, I would run to the galley and grab a light breakfast, just something to snack on. At 12 p.m, bingo cards go on sale. So if you're interested in doing Bingo with the Diva at 1, make sure you head down there to get your bingo cards ready. Bingo with the Diva also competes with Loteria Gigante, and that is one that I'm very excited to see. So Either way, you can't go wrong, but just know that they're around the same time. So if you wanted to do both, you gotta pick one. Around 2 p.m. is champagne and fried chicken bites. This is another one that I'm very excited about that's new. Basically, it's a fried chicken and champagne tasting. You get 3 or 4 different kinds of champagne. That one is in Razzle Dazzle, and I tried their fried chicken. It's very good. So you can't go wrong with that. Then I'll take a little bit of a break and maybe go sit and enjoy Opa Hour at the dock, or just go take a nap in the room, hang out by the pool for a little bit and relax before heading to Salty Trivia at 6 p.m. This one specifically I liked because it was a 90s and Y2K themed trivia, and I'm a 90s baby, so like, that's right up my alley. And then dinner for day 4 would be at Extra Virgin. This is another one of my favorites and one that I would not skip. And doing it later at night is great. Gives you some time to enjoy the ship and see the shows that you want to see. Day 5, you're gonna be in Palma de Mallorca, and it's also Scarlet Night, so you've got an action-packed day ahead of you. I would start this one off with brunch at Razzle Dazzle, and you're gonna be in port from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., so you have plenty of time to explore. Scarlet Night typically starts around 9 p.m., but they do have one event that starts at 6:30 called The Myth of Scarlet Night, where they kind of go into the background of the story that they're telling throughout the night. But if you don't care about that, there's plenty of other activities that start around 9 p.m. that you can attend. So if you did want to get dinner while you're in port, you could, but I would plan on coming back in and doing dinner at Gumbay around 8:30. I feel like Gumbay is just the perfect way to start Scarlet Night because it's such a party vibe that you're already getting in the mood for it before you head out to the pool party. And since you can do dinner at restaurants multiple times, you'll notice that I said Gumbay twice. You can always switch one out for whatever your favorite is. If you are a previous cruiser, if you've never been before and you think you're gonna like something, swap it out. You know, this itinerary is flexible, but it gives you kind of a timeline of when you should be planning to go to dinner, when you should be planning on events happening. Obviously, these itineraries change. The Scarlet Night pool party typically starts around 10:45. And then after that, you'll go into the manor for the Scarlet Night after party that starts around 11:45 and goes until really 2 a.m. or until they shut us all down. Day 6, you're gonna be in Ibiza. And Ibiza is an overnight port. So you're gonna get there around 7 p.m. So you're really getting a sea day and a port day all in one, which is really interesting. So with you not getting into port until 7 p.m., I would use this as a pool day. Make sure you're relaxing before you go in and enjoy the nightlife in Ibiza, if that's what you're gonna do. Start off with a 10 a.m. pickleball session. They're gonna have a pickleball competition, and whether you wanna play or not, I'm someone that doesn't play, but my friends that I cruise with, they love playing. So I sit on the sidelines and I'm the cheerleader. But that starts around 10 and goes to 2, so if you're interested in that, you've got plenty of time to join. At 2:30, there is a latte making competition at the Grounds Club, and that is called Latte You Stay. Super cute name. I love that. That's another one that's new that I'm really interested to see how it goes. And then 4:30, of course, every day is Opa Hour. So if you're interested in some Mediterranean bites, you can head down to the dock to get some of those. And then at 6 p.m., I would get ready to go into port because I would want to see at least what Ibiza is like at nighttime. Maybe I may not want to go into the clubs until 5 a.m., but at least getting to walk around, and I would potentially go do dinner there just to be able to experience that as well. Now, day 7, you're gonna be in Ibiza all day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I would plan on spending the entire day out exploring and seeing what it's like in the daytime. Enjoy the beach a little bit, get out and do some shore things. And since we got to see everything the night before, I would probably plan on coming in a little bit earlier in the day, do some snacks in the late afternoon, and then plan on dinner again at Pink Agave. The late night party that night is gonna be Untitled Dance Show Party Thing, which is again one that I missed last time, but we are definitely making it happen this time because it looks so fun. You really have to get out of your comfort zone if you're not a extroverted person, but it's good for you. Go in with an open mind. Day 8 would be Debarkation Day, and we always plan on doing brunch at Razzle Dazzle on the day that we get off the ship, but anywhere you can get brunch is great. And then we take advantage of the fact that we don't have to be off the ship until 11. So we try to head out around 10:30. That way we have time to make sure our rooms are put back together and we've got everything packed and ready to go. So as you can see, compared to the Valiant Lady itinerary for Dominican days, this one has a lot more relaxing than you would find out of a Miami itinerary. So definitely consider that when you're picking which ports that you're wanting to go to. And keep your eye out here because I am going to be doing more of the itineraries and how I would structure my days on those itineraries. Really, this is just making me want to go on a European cruise again. So, not that I didn't want to go before. It's coming. We're gonna make it happen in the next year. So thanks so much for watching, and if you are liking this type of content and want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're needing to book a Virgin Voyages cruise and you need some help and you want some more info, there is a link in my description box below where you can get in touch with me and I can help you book or answer all the questions that you have. But yeah, thanks so much for watching and happy cruising.